Hey gang, so as you can see, we are back to 4-poi land, which inevitably means lots of frustration, lots of tangles, but also lots of cool stuff. The topic of this week's video is we're going to play around with the Triquetra versus Pendulum weave. Let's try that again. Performed with both hands at the same time. There is going to be a lot of review that you're going to need to do on how to do this kind of Triquetra versus pendulum weave with each hand. So let's actually go through that right quick, just as a little bit of review, right? I've had to teach my left hand how to do this in order for this trick, and it's been a really, really sterling kind of reminder of what goes into it. So to start with, we're going to begin by just having the 2 poi going back and forth in a nice pendulum like this. And when I get them out to my native side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the thumb end just a little bit of a kick to get it up and over, right? I want to try and get the control to the point where as the thumb end is going up and over, I can make that happen without the pinky end getting above my hand, right? The next step, of course, once I've got that down, is I want to make sure that, good morning, I then switch within the next 2 beats my thumb end over to the back side of my body. It's going to be kind of like aiming for a point that is behind my body from the pinky end poi, right? And of course, something to keep in mind is that my hand is going to be moving in a fashion that feels very much like a gigantic reverse weave, right? So it being my non-dominant hand, there was an entire night that I spent just getting reps of this down to make it feel as natural as possible. When it comes to adding in the other hand, life gets a little bit more complicated. I didn't want to use the timing where I would have both hands in front and both hands behind at the same time, because quite frankly, it just would have been a lot. So instead, the solution I came up with was to have one hand in front and one behind at all times. That results in a pattern where essentially, because I'm getting started when my hand is kicking out to its native side, I'm waiting for that moment when I'm beginning the Triquetra versus pendulum on my backside with my left hand to start it up on my front side with my right hand. I don't know how easy or difficult that is to see, but essentially, I want to start up my right hand in front of me going up into that pedal at the same moment that, my left hand is going up into the pedal on the backside of me, right there. Yeah? Now, of course, it being a 4-poi kind of thing, we want to make sure that we are not tangled with either set of poi as we're getting into this. Whoop. And, of course, poi planes are a thing that we have to deal with. The most common thing that goes wrong for me is that I get the poi just slightly off of where they're supposed to be so that they wind up underneath the tether. The good news is that you do have a little bit of room to correct this as you're switching to the other side of your body. The other problem I tend to have is that one hand winds up with more momentum than the other hand, in which case the pinky end poi winds up going up in something more akin to a Mercedes weave. The best thing that I have found to do at that point, honestly, is stop the thing because a tangle will ensue. But as you can see, once I get it moving, I can really just think of this as being as though I'm turning back and forth in together opposite, facing one way and then the other way in wheel plane. And of course, one of the things this is really useful for is you can switch from that into Superman's on either side of your body, right? The switchback might be a little bit more difficult, but at the very least, that is what you're looking at for that particular move. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be back in next week with another tech blog for y'all. Peace. This video was made possible thanks to the kind contributions of these folks right here. In addition, special thanks to Sean, Prisna, Kiro, as well as Andrew Hammond and Ben Reynolds. Thank you guys so much for making these videos possible. If you've enjoyed these videos or learned anything from them, please consider making a contribution at drexfactory.com/support. Help me to keep on making these videos that you love. Thanks.